Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. My name is Brando Linick, and this is going to be a conversation, a talk on how to actually start a business. For the example, in this video, we're going to be talking about a property development business, but on top of that, I'm just going to share with you some important principles and concepts when it comes to this stuff, because over the last 3 years, having started a lot of different types of businesses, not to say like I'm a guru or an expert, really shouldn't even know who I am, but over the last 3 years, having started a lot of different types of businesses, pardon me, some things that worked, some things that didn't work, and the things that did work, they required equipment, supplies, an office space, and it was a lot of stuff. And when it comes to a property development business, a lot of people think that it's awesome. You can go on a property and you can develop what is a game plan, whether it's going to be a commercial building or housing, and it is a good good business. It's very popular. It's high in demand. People are continuously building condos, it seems, in residential areas, and people are always needing a place to live and a place to put their office space in. So it's never going to stop. And when it comes to it, though, you got to keep in mind, you got to look at your overhead costs from a business perspective. And this is something that I've taken into account with all the businesses that I've started. I figured I'd just kind of lay down the principles and the foundation of actually starting a property development business and what to look for and be aware of. And then after that, I'll share with you some big tips and pointers just to be in business for yourself in general. So you're going to want to know this. Now, like I said, when it comes to a property development business, you got to analyze it from a business perspective, from your overhead and your profits. All right, when looking at property development business, typically what you'll do is you'll either work with, all right, someone who already owns a property, or you'll buy a property yourself, and then you'll be able to map out the game plan of what development you're going to put on that property. All right, and this can require a lot of employees. We're talking crew members, we're talking contractors, contracting out jobs with contractors, all right. We're talking office, all right. You need to have an office space where customers and clients can reach you. Also, you're looking at equipment, supplies, all the whole 9 yards. So you got to keep in mind when it comes to this, looking at it, there's a lot of overhead. So you need to keep in mind your overhead, and then you need to look at the profit that you're going to make on your return, all right, on your return in the investment side of things. So when looking at that, you got to keep in mind the profit has to not only be put right back into the business model, has to fund the business model, but it also has to pay you in return. All right, and I've had friends of mine, very close business associates of mine, who, pardon me, have started their own property development business, and it's cost them anywhere from $75,000 up to and over $100,000 to actually start one. One that's actually professional, up to date. And not to say you can't start one for less, all right? Some of you can drop your comments down below if you have, and you can fill down some insight down below. But that said, it's typically going to be high number, all right? And that's just the average that I've taken from close friends of mine who have started the business. And I'd advise you, if you don't have that budget set aside to actually start it and map it out from looking at your overhead that you're going to take on and then analyzing how much profit you're going to make per customer, per building, that is going to take on, all right? And if you don't have the budget set aside, like I said, I'd advise you, if you're looking at this because you just want to be in business for yourself, if that's really what you're looking for, to build a business, to be your own boss, take control of your life, then I've got a lead I want to throw your way here so you can actually avoid that and still be your own boss and build your own business. And my experience with this, it goes back over the last year. And if you hear me out here for a minute, what happened was I actually came across a person who was building a business on the internet. And I won't tell you the internet's the only way to go, but if you want to build an income that's sustainable, that's lucrative, that's leveraged, and you want to be your own boss, all right, and if you don't have the budget of $50,000 or over to start it, and I wouldn't advise you to go get a loan from the bank or finance. I've seen so many guys do that and girls do that, and it's taken them 10, 20, 30 years to pay off their debts from that, which just shows you, I should say, that's how long it's going to take you to really create an income for yourself, and no one wants to go down that path. So I wouldn't suggest that you go get a loan, all right? If you don't have 50 grand in the bank or more, I'd advise you to seriously consider looking into, if you're really just looking at this from a business perspective of being in business for yourself, to look at the internet. And the reason being is because going back a year ago when I came across this person was making a high multiple six-figure income. not sales, all right? This was income, high multiple six figures, almost seven figures, and they're doing so without having any of that upfront overhead and without having the resources to have that overhead, all right? So they didn't have equipment, supplies, employees, office space, and they weren't doing anything technical online. All right, and they weren't creating their own products and services. Because they weren't doing that, all right, I started to model and copy what they were doing, because they were traveling. Their passion was like traveling around the world, and they're traveling 11 months out of the year with their little one, with their child, and it was attractive to me. So I reached out to them for help. Luckily, I got it. You know, a person who has both been in traditional business and struggled to build an online business, I reached out for help from them and was able to, in a period of a couple of weeks, all right, not average or typical results, I'm not guaranteeing you the same results, but I was able to, from scratch, with no previous experience, create a full-time income business, working very part-time, very strategically. And if you want to build a business, if you want to be your own boss, all right, the best thing that you could do is tap into the internet. And the cool part was, I didn't have to take on the overhead. I didn't have to have the resources or budget of $50,000 or even tens of thousands of dollars, all right, to start. And that's really the cool part about the internet. With the right help and guidance, you can do that too. And I'd advise you, instead of trying to figure things out yourself when it comes to an online business, to just connect with someone. Connect with someone who's already building a business in a way that you can go out and do what you want, whether that passion of yours is to help kids in third world countries, whether it's to go travel the world to, you know, France, to the canals, to Rome, to New York, whatever your passion is. Maybe it's traveling, maybe it's not, maybe you just want to learn a new language or pick up on an instrument. Whatever your purpose or passion is, the reason why you want to get into business, connect with someone who's building a business online in a way that you can actually accomplish that, instead of being a slave to your business. And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about, because some of you are traditional business owners and you know that you work harder than your employees. You know that you put in 14-hour days consecutively every single day for the last 5-10 years. So I know I'm speaking to some of you, and others you're just like, I don't even want to do that. Well, like I said, the internet is probably the best solution for you if you don't have that budget, all right? So it's not to say a property development business is bad, but if you don't have the budget and you want to be in business for yourself, the internet is the best tool and best model you could tap into. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation, a little bit of a mix of things, but like I said, I hope you enjoyed it as much as it did putting together for you. If you have any more questions or you want to add into this video, drop your comment down below. I'm open to everything, all right? Don't be afraid to ask something or leave a comment in addition. But that said, also make sure, if you do want to learn the skills to building a business on the internet, if you want to learn how to do it the same way I've been able to, all right, make sure to check out my site. It's 123marketingtips.com. And if you're coachable, willing to learn some things, I encourage you to check it out. And I'll see you on the other side and on the beach of the world. Take care.